Posted by you/throwaway729474. My husband is going to be either pleasantly or unpleasantly surprised when he gets home. I'm not the best at keeping secrets, so it's killing me inside, and I wanted to let it out somewhere, so here I am. Yesterday, I overheard my husband talking to his friend over the phone about how much he missed his mother's homemade meals. We're both Indian first-gen Americans. Since we got married a little over a year ago and moved in together, we've mainly been cooking easy-to-make meals. We split the cooking 50-50 and keep our meals as healthy as possible while trying out different stuff, but we barely dipped our toes in our own culture's cuisine. There aren't any Indian grocery stores near us, so it's hard to find certain key ingredients, but we figured it was no big deal and gave up on the idea. I had no problem with it, but I didn't know how much he was craving my Mills food until yesterday. Both of our families live in another state, so it's just us two, so I decided to call up my Mill last night to ask her for the recipe of my husband's favorite dish. Once I wrote down everything I needed, I tried looking for the nearest Indian grocery store. 2 hours away, yikes. However, I was in too deep to go back at that point, so I woke up at 5 a.m. today, about 6 hours before we normally wake up on the weekends, and drove to the store to get everything I needed. I made sure to buy in bulk so we could continue to cook more of our favorite meals for a while. Once I got back at around 10:30, I made sure to check if he was still asleep before I brought the grocery bags in, and thankfully, he was, so I hid the bags in an empty kitchen cabinet and acted as naturally as I could. Obviously, I needed him out of the house, so I called up one of his close friends to ask if he could hang with him for a few hours, which he was glad to do, so now I'm home alone. I'm currently working on the recipe my Mill gave me, and I have been struggling a bit, but I'm trying my best. I really hope he loves it, or at least appreciates my efforts in the event that it doesn't turn out that great. Kind of nervous though. If this gets any attention, I'll post an update. Edit, I meant to say we are both second-generation Americans. I get the two mixed up, IDKY. Edit 2, this got a lot more attention than I thought it would. I frequented back here while I was cooking to upvote all the lovely comments, and it really eased my nerves, so thank you all so much. And thank you for the awards. We finished eating a few minutes ago and my hubby just hit the shower, so I'll have an update up soon. Now to the update on surprising my husband with his favorite homemade meal. I had finished cooking and setting the table a mere 10 minutes before he got home, so I started cleaning up the kitchen as I waited. I had the pleasure of seeing his reaction as soon as he walked in, since there's a perfect view of the front door from the kitchen. He was instantly taken aback because the aroma of most Indian food is very much distinct. His eyes shot back and forth between me and the food for a few seconds before he asked what was going on. He's usually very calm and collected, so it was endearing seeing his emotions written all over his face. He reluctantly inched toward the food, and once the realization hit him that it was his mother's recipe, he wore an expression that I hadn't seen before. His voice cracked and it turned into a sob when he thanked me and embraced me in a bone-crushing hug. I'm still sore from it. He hasn't cried in front of me in months, so I was just as much, if not more, taken aback than he was. I was supposed to render him speechless, and there I was at a loss for words. I didn't expect him to react that way, in all honesty, and I found myself tearing up too. He had expressed that no one had ever gone out of their way to do something this thoughtful for him, and it made my heart all mushy. Anyway, after we both gathered ourselves and sat down to eat, he could tell I was anxious about him trying it, so he reassured me that nothing could possibly ruin the night unless he gets food poisoning, but even then he'd vomit his brains out with a smile on his face. His jokes always lighten up the mood, so I was grateful for that. And as it turned out, he enjoyed it, albeit my cooking could never compare to my Mill's. He called her up and expressed how happy he was that he got a taste of home after so long. He's been in such a good mood since then, and it really puts a smile on my face. I have never really gone out of my way to do something this extreme for anyone before, but I didn't even give it a second thought, nor did I for a second regret the 4-hour drive, even with these gas prices right now. I'm just happy he loved the dish, and as many of you said, even if it hadn't turned out well, he would have still felt the same. I try my best to do nice things for him because he makes me the happiest wife ever. Also, for those curious as to what I made, it was halim and naan. He grew up eating it pretty often, and my Mill's food is to die for. I wish I had taken a picture, but my phone had died by the time I was done cooking, probably because I kept hopping on here lol, and my husband was too eager to dive in to even think of taking a picture of the food. To me, that just made the moment even more special. Edit, so, it's come to my attention that many TikToks have been made of my post? That's insane, I didn't know Reddit posts travel so quickly. Edit 2, I feel guilty not being able to reply to the hordes of comments being sent my way, but I'm reading and upvoting every single one of them. I love being on the right side of Reddit, you're all great. Edit 3, guys, my husband just called the friend who took him out to distract him for the few hours while I was cooking to ask if he was in on the surprise too. I just found out that he actually had prior plans but cancelled them to take my hubby out. I'm not close with his friends because my husband and I don't mix with the opposite gender. We're Muslim if that counts for anything, but we know who each other's friends are, and I made sure to get this guy's number from my husband because he hangs with him the most, so I know he can be trusted in case of an emergency. He said that he admired how much effort I was willing to put in to make my husband happy and that his plans could be postponed if it meant helping that happen. Needless to say, we will be treating him and his wife, who was fine with their plans being cancelled, to a nice homemade meal in the near future. We both have demanding jobs, though, so near future equals 1 to 2 months. Now on to the last story. Posted by you/no_management. AITA for not sharing my lotto winnings? AITA? First time poster, and this story may be long, so be kind. I will try to clarify any info if needed. I, 29F, and partner, 35M, recently won a life-changing amount of money playing the lottery. When we got the news, we did not tell anyone. We made an appointment with a solicitor and financial planner to check out the legality, taxes, etc., and to make a smart plan with the money so we didn't just waste it. Partner and I were in agreement that my mother, widow, and his parents were going to get some money. I don't have any siblings, but my husband comes from a larger family. He has 3 siblings he is extremely close with and 2 that he could not care less about due to the way they treat us. 1 week after the winnings were given to us and we had a plan in place, we decided to ask said family members over to our house to inform them. We agreed each family member would have their debts paid out, house to a certain value purchase, and a lump sum of cash. This was going to my mom, partner's parents, and all siblings. We set the time and place and let everyone know. Unfortunately, the 2 siblings we don't get along with didn't bother to respond to the message we sent and told the in-laws they had no interest in coming to our house for some stupid family get-along party. At the end of the lunch, the in-laws asked what about the other 2 who did come. I was about to speak when my partner clearly said all were invited. They didn't respond to us, and from what they told you, I think we will rethink our offer and give nothing. If they can't spare 2 hours of their time and give nothing but attitude, then why should we help? The in-laws flipped it. I mean, yelled directly at me and called me selfish and said this was all my doing. If I don't give the other 2 any money, then they don't need it either. We ended the convo there on the note of not a worry, no money for you and the other 2 siblings. No problems at all. We asked them to leave as we couldn't be bothered fighting with them. We didn't have to share any of the winnings. I thought we were fair in what we were doing. We have now had non-stop texts and phone calls from the in-laws and the 2 siblings that didn't show, saying how horrid we are by taking away their future. The other siblings are with us but still think if the in-laws say sorry for their behavior, we should help them still. So, AITA for not giving the other 2 siblings our lottery winnings when they didn't want anything to do with us? Now on to some comments. Posted by Donopolis. NTA. You notified everyone, 2 didn't show. So sorry, so sad. The in-laws are fools to blame you for their kids' rude behavior and a-holes for acting as if any of the money is owed to them. You and your spouse did due diligence and tried to take care of everyone. They acted like asses and reaped the reward for that. NTA. Livid_yogurt closet 67 responded with, I do believe they effed around and found out. Bravo op for shutting them down when they started to yell. You and your partner were trying to do a great thing for the family, and they blew it by blowing up and acting like you were the one who made the decision. Even if the 2 of you agree, it was partner's idea to say they don't get anything. Clytemnestra responded with, NTA. It would be one thing if the missing siblings had sent their regrets, but they didn't reach out to you and were rude behind your back. Why should they deserve anything? Tell your in-laws that they're welcome to share their portion of the lump sum if they care that much about the siblings' future. If you're even still giving anything to the in-laws. Posted by Louise 25. NTA. You and your partner are seeing the true character of the in-laws and 2 siblings. Life changes, especially money, brings out the worst in people. Entitlement is a relationship killer because there is no such thing. None of them are entitled to a penny, let alone the generosity that you have shown them. This was a gift, not an obligation. The 2 of you are no more responsible for their futures today than you were the day before you won the lotto. All you did was try to share your good fortune with the members of your family. Your in-laws were being manipulative when your partner changed his mind and it backfired. It is ridiculous to blame you for his decision. At this point, you should go NC with the in-laws and 2 siblings. When they are ready to apologize, which includes changed behavior, then and only then would think about reconsidering the gift. Remember, if you capitulate, they will drive you crazy with requests for money, feel more entitled, and behave worse. Responsible Lime 2242 responded with, I would never reconsider the gift. They obviously will not be grateful or appreciative since somehow, they feel they are owed for being terrible Oz. Glitter Doomsday responded with, the other siblings that kept quiet must be laughing inside seeing how their entitlement backfired. Posted by Jazzy Knows Best 13. NTA. Your husband was the one who had finally had enough from the standoffish siblings. He's entitled to his feelings and doesn't have to reward bad behavior. The irony is, who knows what would have happened if the in-laws didn't flip out at the announcement party. They would have received their gift and your husband may have softened on his impromptu decision to exclude 2 of his siblings. Now there is a schism in the family with harsh words and bad feelings. It will feel like an insurmountable task to try to fix this. Your announcement party was supposed to be about sharing good news and good fortune. I'm sorry that it didn't work out as you had imagined.